Camping is one of America's favorite pastimes, and that's what we're geared up to do on this episode of Food Finds and old-fashioned roasted nuts and trail mixes.
They're just so different. They're so good.
Nobody camps or hikes without trail mix, right? And there are plenty of good reasons. The proteins and nutritious oils found in most nuts are ideal fuel for hiking or outdoor activities. They burn slowly to give you the energy you need. But some nuts taste better than others. And Bill Wolf of Wolfies Nuts in Findlay, Ohio, thinks he knows why.
They're just right over an open flame.
Just like roasted nuts should be, right? Every town has its legends and institutions when it comes to food. Findlay, Ohio, just south of Toledo, has its share. In the category of roasted nuts, it might have more than its share. When Bill Wolf was growing up here, there was Maggie's Grocery, which specialized in oil-roasted varieties. And across town was Totem Nuts, which turned out crunchy, coated, oven-roasted nuts. Several twists of fate during the 1990s led both companies, along with their reputations and recipes, into Bill Wolf's loving hands. It all started with a sentimental stop at Maggie's Grocery for some nuts.
Stopped down there to get a pound of the Redskins that I remembered as a kid, and they weren't the same Redskins that I remembered as a kid. And at that time, I set my sights on buying the store.
Bill's company, Wolfies, now makes the same line of nuts that Maggie made, according to her own recipes. This roasting facility was originally a hatchery. It turns out that roasted nuts need much the same treatment as incubating eggs or young chicks. Add some serious house cleaning, a couple of custom-made roasting ovens, and you're in the nut business.
They had chicks and had a place down in Mexico. They were raising, hatching chickens too. And when they had this, they got rid of all that and went right into the nuts.
Today, Bill and his roasters are making several varieties of their famous crunchy nuts. The recipe and unique oven design was brought up from Mexico. But don't jump to any conclusions. The basic recipe is more Japanese than Mexican. So yes, here in the Ohio heartland, you can have Japanese nuts roasted in antique Mexican ovens. The coating begins with 5 layers of mostly flour. The roasters keep their hands extra clean so they can work without gloves. Their sense of touch as they handle the nuts is part of Wolfie's constant quality control process and how they make sure all the nuts are properly coated. Then the nuts are roasted for an hour, give or take a minute. While the nuts are hot out of the oven, they're coated again with a blend of soy sauce and seasonings. The nuts cool once on a special ventilated table. Then they spend the rest of the day in a ventilated cabinet, formerly a chicken egg incubator. It's a time-consuming process, but it's also what makes Wolfie's nuts special.
Every peanut should have a good coating on it. That is what makes the product what it is.
Bill managed large supermarkets before he became a nut roaster. He knows a lot about nutrition in general, and he knows a lot about nuts in particular. He says that when you're working or playing hard in the outdoors, nuts make a great snack for a couple of different reasons.
They go good with beer. They're also an easy food to carry with you to put in your pocket to satisfy an immediate hunger.
The only newfangled parts of the Wolfies operation are the many modern sealing and packaging devices. By the bag, can, jar, or tray, the nuts stay fresh and tasty, and they can be shipped just about anywhere. Bill says his nuts and trail mixes are ready to munch right out of the bag or the tub. Keep them cool and dry, and they'll store just fine. But Bill says when he munches on his oil-roasted varieties, he warms them first. A few seconds in the microwave or over a campfire, and they're out of this world. For the latest news on all the camping foods we've seen, log on to our website, foodtv.com, or you can call the companies directly. Wolfie's roasted nuts and trail mixes are great go food, whether your tastes lean toward the traditional or the spicy and exotic. Ring Bill and his roasters at 866-889-6887.